loves, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. Before we continue, what's that little join button down there? Today I wanted to talk about Asian culture. I don't know if it's just Asian culture. I've known it to be Asian culture. Perhaps there are other cultures that do this too. If you are not Asian and you have experienced what I'm about to talk about, please let me know downstairs in the comments. It's something we all probably need to unlearn. What I'm talking about is when you go to family events. Normally as, you know, a young child, even as a teen, we have so many family events. Could be birthdays, could be cultural celebrations, could just be get-togethers. We have them all the time. And you go, you're looking cute. Sometimes you don't feel like you particularly want to go. Other times you really want to go to see your peers, your friends, your cousins, right? Your age. But one thing that I always dreaded about these events was the greetings, because they were always so long and I never knew who everybody was. You know, you go in with your parents and you'd stand sheepishly by their side and you'd take it in turns to see literally everyone who was there, and we were always the latest ones, right? So everyone was there to be greeted. They ask you questions like if you've put on weight and if you know what you're doing with your future, both things that are primed to put you in a bad mood. And I know I'm complaining, but saying hi I could deal with. I get it. You greet people. It's nice. The one thing that I could deal with less and that made me feel really uncomfortable was the kiss. Lil Shaaba didn't like going around having to kiss older people who, let's be honest, I didn't know who most of them were. We call them auntie and uncle, but like, who are these people? Why are there so many and why do I have to kiss them? I just didn't understand. Big Shaaba also doesn't like it, but additionally realizes that there are many red flags that come with this process. And I wanted to talk about it because it's definitely not something that I'm going to be making my kids do. Why am I getting so hepped up over a kiss? Like it's just a kiss. No, it's not just a kiss. It's actually much more important than that. And I think it's really important that we challenge these things that we tell children to do, because that's their formative years. And in cultures especially where when you ask why do we do them, they just go, because it's what we do, just get on with it. That's not a good enough reason to instill values that resemble and mean so much more to kids in life, you know, and that affect them as grown-ups. So that's why it's important. Red flag number 1, informed consent and independent thinking. That is my flag. When you are told to kiss an uncle or an auntie, doesn't matter the gender, who you might not know, or even if you do know, just don't feel very comfortable showing physical signs of intimacy like that. You're told that if you don't do it, you're rude. Forcing someone in that way into doing it is not consent. What it is pushing a very odd and intimate act onto somebody who has significantly less dynamic power. Because when you're younger and you're being told by people older than you and people who you do obey, right, like parental figures, that you have to do it, you just have to do it. And I get it, as a child to an auntie or an uncle, what's the big deal? Just give them a kiss, it's a nice greeting. Yeah, fine, but what you're teaching that child is when a man wants a kiss from you, you have to do it. That's not a lesson that I want to instill. You're telling that person that if someone older than you or with an authority figure of any kind wants a kiss, you do it. What is that telling them about authority? What does that mean? What are they going to learn and what are they automatically going to think that they need to do if a workplace boss harasses them? A kiss or any sign of affection is something that you should give willingly. It shouldn't be done under a command. It's not something that you have to obey. It's a privilege for someone to receive. I'm not saying that my family is dodgy. I'm just saying these are cultural values that we really need to unlearn, because the cultural expectations that you then put on these kids growing up leads them to make less informed choices as adults. There was this one family that I remember, I was so against it. I was like, no, that they would bring out chocolate bars and be like, kiss your uncle and I'll give you a chocolate bar. And the uncle themselves would be like, you want it? Come give me a kiss. Like, no, that's just really odd. Just no. My second red flag, and this may again be contextually dependent, I'd be interested in your experiences, is that I feel it really sets feminism back. All the time, it was only the girls, the little girls, the cousin girls that had to kiss the aunties and the uncles. The men, well, they weren't men, they were boys at the time, but the boys, they wouldn't have to give kisses. They would give handshakes. Yes. Little tiny boys giving handshakes is very cute, but girls giving handshakes is what? Manly? Not equal? Like, again, what are we saying to these young kids? Regardless of your gender as a child, and regardless of the gender you are addressing, I just feel like it's common courtesy to do it the same. You know, especially during COVID. Just hello. Hi, something like that. So good. Third red flag, and I understand that again, this is something that I have a very charged history towards because of my culture and my experiences. It reinforces the idea that age automatically deserves respect and authority. And I just think that's so wrong. Just because you're older does not mean that you're right. And the amount of times that that's been used. Oh yeah, do it. Go on, they're older than you. You have to make up with them. They're older than you. You have to wish them and congratulate them first. They're older than you. Why? It's just this idea that the older person knows better, knows more, and therefore demands respect, and it's just absolutely not true. In fact, I think the opposite is true. Older people may know more in terms of life experience, but it's the life experience that they are accustomed to. And as you get older, what you become more and more detached from is the lived experience of the people who are now growing up in newer cultures and societies. Again, especially in my family, because we were very isolated. We didn't socialize much beyond our family. And so I think it's particularly damaging, because then you have older people being like, yep, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm right based on this thing that I did 50 years ago that is like so outdated, and it's just not the case. And again, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm preparing myself for people being like, Shaaba, mate, it's just a kiss, calm down. And I feel the need to defend against that. These tiny little things, these micro actions that we do all reinforce these bigger principles that then really affect our life. That's how intergenerational trauma is then passed down. That's how we have people not listening to facts and spreading things like fake news based on silly whispers that become, lies, not maliciously, but through people thinking they know what's best when they don't, because you're not verifying the information, because you're just trusting that it's true because someone older has told you. No. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite when I'm older. I don't expect people to listen to me and think that I'm right just because I'm older. Even though I have experience of something, I'm not going to turn around someone and be like, listen to me, I've done this before. This idea of respecting your elders reinforces the idea that age comes with authority and that a hierarchy is determined based on characteristics that you can't control. Respect is earned. It's not blindly given. And I wish I'd learnt that a lot sooner, and I would have learnt that a lot sooner if I didn't have to kiss people all the goddamn time. Anyway, I'll stop talking about this age point because I feel like I'm a bit of a stuck record now. The fourth and final red flag that I have is that forcing someone to give a greeting in that way, it kind of just loses its meaning of why you're doing it in the first place. It's my bugbear with traditions and cultural practices, and it's certainly my bugbear with these particular greetings. Why do people kiss people and greet people? It's because they're happy to see them. But if that's being forced and I'm not happy to see you, why would you be grateful to receive it? The idea of that, just the basic principle, is so off to me. Like, what is the point of receiving affection if it is forced? If it is forced, then it's not affection, right? I strongly maintain that if I'm able to bring children into this world and have a little family, if they do not wish to hug or kiss or even greet you, even say hello to you, that is their right, because they are autonomous human beings and we decide who we want to speak to. Not doing that means that we foster this environment and this notion that it's okay to have toxicity in your life. You need to, because there are people here that you need to respect. No! Who said that? Whoever thought that was a good thing to enforce? And it's difficult. I have little nieces and nephews now, cute little adorable babies in my life with really squishy cheeks and little cute little toe beans, and the amount of times that I just want to poke their little fat everywhere, or give them a kiss, or boop them on the nose. Sometimes I still do boop them on the nose. I know I shouldn't. I'm trying not to. It's a process, unlearning. But it's really important that we do unlearn this, because from a young age, people need to be taught and reminded that they are to be respected. They have autonomy over what their body is, how they feel, and how they choose to use it. And now, when I get a kiss, or a cuddle, or a high five from my niece, or nephew, or friends, babies, it feels so cool, because I'm like, yeah, you wanted to do that. I can ask, hey, you want a high five? If they say no, I'm not going to be offended. It just means that they don't want physical intimacy right now, and that's okay. So, little message to, Shaaba in the future for when she invents that time machine and goes back in time to tell little Shaaba that she doesn't have to kiss her uncles next time she goes to the party. There you go. Don't force affection. It's not ultimately what you're looking for. It's not affection if it's forced, and instead what you're doing is reinforcing very bad messages that kids will then need to unlearn as an adult that respects themselves. Sorry, uncles, if this video offends you. Actually, I'm not sorry, but what you should take from this is to not be offended. I'll just wave next time. Nice to meet you. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Do be sure to check out that little join button, and I'll catch you next time with another video. Be kind and have a great day.